Alrighty.
And good morning, Yamhill County. You are tuned to the root of it right here on KLYC, your weekly gardening program. I am Kyle Hunter Ray's over there, and we are in a very pleasant mood.
Oh, this is absolutely delightful. Sunlight just perks me up something fierce.
Even though it's 27 degrees outside?
Well, I didn't say I wasn't wearing 4 layers.
Right. Well, you've got the vest on, so apparently those arms aren't getting too cold.
I'd sleep in it if my wife would let me.
All right. No, I took the drive from Portland this morning, so I got to see pretty much the whole landscape of frost and variables. And there was actually, it was warmer up at Rex Hill than it is right here.
Really?
Right. It was a toasty 32 degrees up there, and we're dealing with the 27. Well, actually, we've warmed up to 31 degrees since we've been in the studio, so that's good.
Well, you've been a traveling man all over the countryside. I'm
You
glad
know
to
that
have
I
you
am.
back.
You know that I am a traveling man. I went down south, Texas. That's not really south. That's just Texas.
Texas is its own little world.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's down there.
And then I went ahead and jumped over to Louisiana, and it was just 70 degrees down there. We had crocuses and irises popping up down there in my grandma's little landscape.
Oh, my
So,
God.
and I got suckered into raking her leaves. She's got this really big corner lot, and she only has one big oak tree there. But we bagged about 6 bags of leaves and spent about 4.5 hours raking all of that stuff up. And then afterwards, we've got this nice little brown lawn underneath, but it looked much nicer. But my 87-year-old grandmother is not going to be going out there and doing that anytime soon. So my uncle and I, we pitched in and bit the bullet, and I did some yard work while I was on vacation.
Cool.
Yeah.
Because that'd be fun to do it out where it's warm.
Yeah,
Oh.
and I was sweating the whole time. I had to take my hoodie off. Yeah.
Huh?
Yep. Nice down there.
I don't even walk the dog until after 3:00 in the afternoon, and we get that 20-minute warm spell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I function for about 20 minutes.
And we've had a nice warm spell, and I'll tell you what that I did, and it hasn't really been up to 60 degrees.
No.
But yesterday it was warm enough for me to just go get out there and spray what I needed to spray, my glyphosate down, and hopefully maybe I'll see some reaction from that today or tomorrow. Get some brown grass, because I've just I've got grass growing where I don't want it to be, and it's looking really ugly. So I just burned.
It'll take a while because, again, anything green needs a little bit of warmth before it'll actually take up
58 degrees. That's the temperature.
And it may take a week. Where on a good hot day you can sear it in a couple of days.
Right. And that's what I'm hoping for, because you see the sun. I mean, I feel warm out there, and I feel like the grass is in the same kind of mood I am. So I want to kill it.
Oh. Okay, then.
But, yeah, I got in the spring, and it probably amounts to about a half an acre of me just sitting out there with a hand wand going,
well, you got till Tuesday before we're going to get a sprinkle.
I'm going to try and hit out the last
go ahead
cracks
and do her.
that I need to today. And again, it is it's not something that OSU would recommend doing. This is definitely not the time to be doing it. But for me, it's an experiment just to see if I can get away with it, and I'm hoping that I can.
Well, and you will to some degree.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll get some good death.
Yeah. Yeah.
Death is essential.
And because of but the problem being the weather, and we can probably get into that, because this week we should have a return to a bit of normalcy. You were reading me the weather report where they said that we have chances of showers, but we also have not chances of showers.
Well,
in the same breath.
This is a weather site that you can find at Oregon Vineyard Supply. It's like the weather over one of those little things you can click on way off in a corner.
OVS.com.
Yeah,
I think it's
yeah.
OVS.com.
We'll give them a little plug just because they're nice people.
Right, sure.
And it's a guy who is pretty good at prognosticating.
Yeah.
He's not with the National Weather Service or anything. A lot of them use a bunch of computer modules, and computers don't really understand Yamhill County.
Not yet.
Yeah, I mean, I know mine doesn't. Mine doesn't even understand a mothership, let alone Yamhill County.
Right.
His mothership is Comcast, and it went by.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this guy is apparently really good at it. And we get our weather usually from weatherunderground.com, wunderground.com.
Yeah, that's another really, really good one.
And for them, because they use local people's weather stations, and so it gets even closer than NOAA, because the NOAA site, NOAA.gov, they've actually, this is where basically everybody else gets their weather information from, because they own the satellites, they own the Doppler, they own all of these things. Right. So that's where, but you're starting to see the individual weather person, the individual weather station owner. So a lot more data, and more prevalent data, more accurate data, and specific to the locations.
Well, most national services don't take into account the fact of local topography. You know, the ring of mountains we have around Yamhill County makes this our own little Mediterranean bowl.
Right.
So our weather here is often nicer than it is in Portland, nicer than it is in Eugene, nicer than it is in Salem even. Right. Because we have this ground shape situation.
Right.
Which makes it really kind of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and KLYC does use the Weather Underground also as the data point too. Pretty accurate. I'm actually considering buying one of their weather stations, because you can buy one of their weather stations, become part of the program, and your information gets sent wirelessly to them automatically.
This guy, he's saying that we're going to have this warmer and increasing rainy weather through mid-February.
Wow.
And then after that, it's going to get really nice. So that's just...
what's really nice at this point in a drought
area? Well, warm-wise, it'll be like 40 at night instead of 28.
28, yeah.
And it'll be like 50 in the daytime instead of 28.
Right.
So it's going to give us that faux spring that we get, but it'll be just enough moisture in the first part of the month to soften up the dirt, so you can actually give a first rototill in the second half of the month.
Right.
You know, while you're out pruning your roses and all the rest of the stuff that we'll talk about.
I was watching the weather this week on TV, and I think it was whatever. So he actually said that we've gotten the average rainfall that we normally get is whatever it is, and then we've gotten that rainfall in just 2 days though, and it's only rained 2 days in January. So we're not, and it's actually half of the normal. So we've only reached half of the normal, and that was in 2 days. And,
it's going to be a dry one this year, I'm afraid. Yeah. I really am. Which is why we're going to talk about what we're going to talk about today.
That's right. We are going to talk about water-wise plants. And I say water-wise because it just flows off the tongue, and it seems like it's something that it's easily understandable, but it's actually trademarked. It's a trademark term from OSU, and these describe plants that are good at using the water that they have. No additional water is usually needed.
Right.
So you've got the definition in front of you.
Well, yes. Water-wise gardening is a style of gardening which uses little or no water in the landscape, resulting in financial and natural resource savings. That's how they say that.
Right, and that's just basically...
Big people talk for you don't have to go out and water your yard every darn day.
Right. And
or your flower beds.
When we're going to also talk about xeriscaping, which is basically no water being added to it, right?
That's pretty much it. It's dry land gardening. And that was actually coined back in the early 60s by a guy in Denver, Colorado.
I've been there.
Yep.
Go Broncos.
And, yeah, absolutely. That's tomorrow.
And it's funny that you say that, because I actually knew that phrase was coined in Denver, Colorado, too.
Really?
Yeah, I did know that. Yep.
Yeah, it was because they had a drought, and so they got kind of like what we are now. The water table drops, and they didn't get rain or snow or anything. The ski areas were, icky and rock skiing.
That area is. It's becoming a high mountain desert as we speak. As the glaciers retreat further south, those deserts are creeping further north, and they've got drought problems in that area too.
Yep.
Far worse than we have. Although we have fires, we have winter fires going on in this state. Can you believe that?
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
It's
I can see the pictures of the fire and like the vegetation that's right next to the fire. It's snow. There's snow dusting everywhere on next to it. So it's pretty bizarre and peculiar.
Yeah, but the moisture level of the ground debris is so low,
Right.
so dried out.
Yeah, and if that's what's happening, near the coast, what is to come this summer?
Yep.
Inland.
Yeah, I'm afraid it's not good.
So why don't we ponder that?
We'll move on to happier thoughts.
We're going to jump into a break right now, and then when we get back,
Give the number.
We'll give the number out. The number you're asking me, it's usually written up here right now, and I can't see it right now. It's 503-435-1260.
Yep.
And if you want to catch us streaming live, get some video. It's KLYC.us. But right now we're going to jump into the break. This is To the Root of It on KLYC.
Hours are going to be 8 to 4, Monday through Friday. On Saturday, it's 9 to 4. Phone number is 503-434-1671.
All righty. Anything else you want to tell the folks?
We got a friendly staff here ready to answer and help you guys out with any kind of needs you have as far as landscaping and garden goes. Come on down, come say hi to us, and we'll help you out from there.
So if you're listening to tips that the guys are talking about on To the Root of It and you need some composting, maybe you just need a little bit, maybe you need a lot, come on down and check them out. Again, the address?
2200 Northeast Orchard Avenue.
And the phone number?
503-434-1671.
Nick Olheiser talking to us. We're here at Recology Northwest Greenlands, and they bring To the Root of It back on KLYC AM 1260. Now back to the show.
This is Gary with Christensen Auto Sales, McMinnville's newest used car dealer, located out here on Highway 99 next to Cascade Steel. We offer a large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. We also offer easy-to-qualify financing with no formal credit check and buy here, pay here credit terms. If you have a verifiable source of income, a permanent address, and a down payment on some vehicles as low as $500, we'll have you driving down the road today in your new vehicle. So come down and see us at 3080 Northeast Highway 99 or check us out on the web at christensenautosales.net. That's CHRISTENSEN autosales.net or call us at 503-687-2080.
AM 1260 KLYC, and we want to thank Recology Northwest Greenlands for helping bring To the Root of It back to you here on AM 1260 KLYC. And with us right now is site lead Nick Olheiser. In fact, we're standing in the yard at Recology Northwest Greenlands. Nick, thank you for sponsoring the show.
Thank you, and it's great to be here today.
Let's talk about the redistribution, reallocation in the company. There's been a little bit of changing of names and so on and so forth. Explain what's going on.
Yeah, we were actually bought out a few years ago by a company named Recology out of San Francisco. Essentially what's going on out here is there's just been a restructuring within the company. We are now more part of an organics division, which is allowing us to kind of centralize and hone in on the composting part of it, the phase that we want to be in. It kind of allows us to just share and reincorporate our knowledge within that and really build off of that.
So if you're driving by WOW over here by the fairgrounds, by the Shell gas station, and you're looking for compost, and they're looking to supply compost needs for large and small producers. So even if you're the small home gardener and you just want a bucket or two, you can come down and get that.
Yes, absolutely. We're located over here on Orchard Avenue. You pull in, we have anything from rock to bark dust to soil blends to just straight compost.
Tell me what's unique in what you offer here to the public.
What really sets us apart is the in-depth retail yard that we have. We have multiple products that a lot of other places aren't able to provide. One of our more popular features is the green waste pile. You can bring in any kind of yard debris, grass trimmings, branches, anything like that, and recycle it here. And then from there, it's reincorporated into the process, and in a couple months, it comes out as compost.
What are your hours, and when can people come by and pick up some compost?
Our hours are Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, Saturday, 9 to 4. Anytime in those hours, come on by. We got a friendly staff, always on hand, ready to help out and answer any questions in any way they can and get you any kind of needs you have.
What are your price ranges?
Price ranges for compost, pretty much all of our products, anywhere from $20 to $30 a yard. We do half-yard increments. Soil blends, same thing. We also have custom blend services that we do. There's something that on site that you don't see or that you can't find that you want, we're able to blend it up for you right there and get you exactly what you need.
Do you have Facebook, a website, and a phone number?
We don't have a Facebook currently right now. We are working on that. Our website is Recology, or it's OregonCompost.com. Sorry, just OregonCompost.com. And phone number is going to be 503-434-1671.
Recology Northwest Greenlands. We're talking here to Nick Olheiser, and they're bringing To the Root of It here on AM 1260 KLYC.
This is Bruce Huffman from Hillside Retirement Community wishing you a Happy New Year. Is 2014 your year to make a change in a true retirement? Hillside offers an enriched life for seniors with 15 to 17 food entrees per day to choose from. 25 fitness classes each week with a focus on fall prevention and brain wellness, plus travel and educational opportunities galore. We have cottage, homes, and apartments of various sizes to meet the unique needs of your retirement lifestyle. If you have not toured Hillside, make this your year to visit us. What you will find will surprise you. Call 503-472-9534 to schedule your tour.
And welcome back. You are listening to The Root of It right here on KLYC.
I need to make a little bit of a correction.
We were just we had the Recology interview
Yes.
right there,
Right,
and
right.
apparently while I was gone, you mentioned things you weren't supposed to, Ray.
Well, I mentioned go figure.
Right.
Ray shot off his mouth again. How does
Right.
that happen?
Right.
Yeah, disconnect. Anyway, yes, you can go and buy a 5-gallon bucket.
Right.
And if you bring your own bucket, it's like $6.
Mm-hmm.
If you borrow one of their reusable buckets or buy one of their reusable buckets, it's $8. And a bucket holds 5 gallons,
Right.
which is enough for several, small pots. However, Nicole pointed out, she's one of the really nice people that work over there
Okay.
and listens to the show. Good morning, Nicole. And she mentioned that if you buy a half a yard, which is like $15, $16,
Right.
you get 101 gallons.
So divided by a 5-gallon
By
bucket.
a 5-gallon bucket is 20 buckets full.
So you're saying that I could come in and get, you purchase the 101 gallons, and then
Keep your little slip.
and then each time you want a bucket full of compost, you just come in and you fill it up, and they give you a punch or
Yeah.
mark it off the receipt, and
They will.
that is awesome.
So you can buy a resource. Keep your it can be potting soil or whatever you buy, and the prices do vary. But you can find that at their website. But then as you go through the season, so that you have plants that you're planting in February or plants that you're starting in February or March, April, you can go in and check off another bucket of product.
So then this way you don't have a a driveway full of your
Yeah, there you go.
of the mulch as the storage unit. You use them as the storage unit. No, it's a great idea. You just gave out a little bit of a misinformation though last week when you said you could bring in a flower pot.
You can't. Don't take over a flower pot and to fill just a flower pot. That's
Right.
not how it works.
No, but I like that. I'm the kind of person that gets 7 yards at a time, so that's not for me. But however, for the small gardener, the backyard gardener, it seems like a really awesome thing to do.
Yeah, I have done projects where I knew what I needed, but my Toyota that I had would only hold a
Right.
yard. So
Right.
I would buy like a unit, and then I'd just go over and get it a yard at a time. That's 7 truckloads.
Yeah, that's a long
But then
time.
you don't have, like you say, you don't have 7 yards sitting in the middle of the driveway.
the only place is the driveway.
The only place to put it's the middle
so
of
either
the
that's-
frickin' driveway.
That's where it ends up. But we're going to use the mulch and the compost for landscaping, and we can get back into
Yep.
that because we've been talking about water-wise gardening. And for more information on the water-wise gardening, you can go to extension.oregonstate.edu/Yamhill, and there's a direct link to WaterWise there, because one of the main proponents of the WaterWise program is actually Linda McMahon, who was the director of the
Right.
extension office, and We've been reading some of these plant definitions, and she's written all of them. I mean, basically every plant that's on this WaterWise list, she knows exactly, everything about it, and has given awesome descriptions, which are also available on the website.
Yeah, we were lucky to have her for quite a while as our staff chair, or extension agent in common language. And she's a brilliant writer. She's an excellent researcher.
Right, and she's really awesome. She gives the classes for the male master gardeners too, and you learn a lot of information from her. So it was really nice to see her reading or her writings up there. So we can probably get into a few of those. But again, the WaterWise plants are just plants that are for the most part, they're natural to the area. And if they're not, they're natural to environments similar to what you find in the area. So you don't have to add water. They live off of the water naturally in the environment. You might need to water them in the beginning stages just to get their root system developed. And that's best.
Just to get them started. And once they get used to the dirt that they're in, they generally do pretty well. And if you get... most of them are perennials, so they come back every year.
Right.
And that's the beauty of them.
And there are evergreens also in there, too.
There's 3.5 pages.
No, there are 5.5 pages.
5.5 pages.
There are, I think, 7,000.
Yeah,
or something like that. But when you think of WaterWise, what's the first plant that pops in your head? I say WaterWise, what's the plant?
My penstemon.
Really?
Really?
Awesome. We can talk about that right now. And because I had actually seen that on the list also, and as one of the big descriptions that she has there. And if you're not familiar with the penstemon, they are these tall grass-like things that then have these flowery bulbs that hang off.
Yeah, it's a long tubular bulb.
Right.
And they're really good for like hummingbirds and a lot of the pollinators.
Yeah, and for you, that's the plant of your choice that you think of. And what is it that attracts you to them?
The brilliance of the flower.
Right.
I have the penstemon barbus, and I have really enjoyed it because it's such a brilliant, deep red. A lot of my plants are in yellow tones because I like yellows, oranges, and reds. But this one is almost like a fluorescent red. And
yeah, and it looks really pretty, and it goes by the name beard tongue. Have you ever heard it referred to as beard tongue? Because I don't think I've ever heard that.
I've never heard that term, but that doesn't mean that somebody else don't call it that. I just call it my penstemon.
My penstemon, and a lot of the flowers, I end up calling them by that name also, like rudbeckia. I call that instead of the brown eye button Susan or whatever. What is it called? What are they called? Something like that.
Yeah, it reminds me of an old girlfriend. Anyway.
But when do they bloom? When do these things bloom?
Well, the good thing about the penstemon is it'll bloom literally all year if the weather conditions are right.
Really?
But it starts blooming really seriously in late April, first part of May.
Okay.
And then each time that it starts to bloom, the flowers kind of grow up the end. And when it gets to the end, so that the last flower on the stem, just before it goes to seed, I just take my hedge clippers and I whack it off.
All right.
I just chop off the whole thing. Takes about 3 whacks and it's gone. And it immediately, within a week or two, you'll see new starts, new flower stems.
It's because you have tricked the plant into thinking that, oh my gosh, I didn't develop fully. I have to do this. I have to develop more again.
I didn't get to go to seed.
Right, exactly. So now I've got to try it again before winter comes and I die.
So it stays blooming like all year long, and about once a month I'll go over and give her a whack. Mm-hmm. And so every month right up until snowfall. Actually, it bloomed till Thanksgiving this year.
Okay.
And when I whacked it down for winter, I took it down to where it was only about 6 inches tall, so that everything starts over, leaves, stems, flowers, and it's already starting to do its thing.
Yeah.
Because it is nicer out. And
those are a popular plant at our plant sale too. I know that for a fact.
But there's dozens of colors.
Yeah.
And there's ones that live better in the Willamette Valley. There's also penstemons that do just fine in Bend at 5,000-foot elevation, and are just as colorful over there as they are down here.
And you're getting a lot of color for not a lot of water, which is the benefit of picking this kind of a plant also.
Oh, hey, looky there.
Look at that. We're going to jump into a call, I guess, if I can. Now I have to remember all of these things. My friend Dave is going to help me out here.
Yeah, don't go away, caller. We'll get her figured out.
Yep. Wait, are you there, caller? So while we're figuring that out, for me, what I'm thinking about are the rosemaries. That's the thing that rosemary pops out at me as the water-wise plant because it's drought-tolerant, Mediterranean by origin. And so when I think of that, it's not even a flower. It's just basically an evergreen kind of thing.
Well, it does bloom.
They'd have very beautiful, almost innocuous blue flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're right. It does bloom, and they're kind of nice. But I get it because of the size you can get out of it, and with the lack of watering.
Okay.
And now we've got a caller.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a question about
Good morning, caller.
my lawn.
Oh, excellent.
Good morning.
And this is the first year I've had this issue. Is there anything I can put on it at this time of year and the cold temperature?
Well, don't put a bunch of fertilizer on it because right now it's cold out and the brown spots are just caused mostly by frost.
Oh,
And
just by frost?
Yeah, it's primarily frost damage. And the roots are generally still very healthy, very viable. When the soil warms up, it'll be fine. What you can do is go ahead and mow it so that you have a nice starting height. And then...
Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Which
I'll
I
move up to
kinda-
my microphone. I was wandering off. What you can do, and probably about the middle of February, is go ahead and give it a little lime to kind of sweeten the soil.
Oh, okay.
And then it will take care of itself naturally, and then probably not until like the first part of March you might give it its first fertilizer feeding. And do that
Okay.
very lightly. Don't go out and put 15 pounds of Miracle Grow on it
Okay.
because we still have the chance for frost again. And
Yeah.
we have the chance for frost up until, what is it, May the 15th, I think? Yeah, May the 15th. So right now, it's just think of it not as a brown lawn. Think of it as in a resting phase.
Okay.
Think of it,
And so I
your lawn
should,
went to Hawaii.
Go out and try and rake some of the brown out or anything like
No,
that.
don't worry about it.
Leave it be. Okay.
Yeah, just mow it off, so, so that the new growth doesn't get refrosted and get browner.
Okay. Okay.
And now's a good time if you're one of those anti-moss people. Now's a good time to go out and like rake moss out of the lawn. Maybe that kind of thing. Your lawn will look a little uglier, but
Yeah.
it don't worry about it. Do you have dogs in your neighborhood?
No.
Okay, well, my dog has a bad habit of going over to the next door neighbor's lawn, and he's been very gracious about it. So there's these little 3-inch brown spots all over his lawn, because it's polka dot.
Yeah.
It's dog tush ugly, but when he mows it, that mows it all down so that it all gets down to the same kind of brown, and then I go over and I sprinkle a little lime on it to sweeten the soil to raise the pH so that the nitrogen from her Post-it notes doesn't do any further damage to the lawn. And he appreciates it, and then he mows it, and she appreciates it because it's always the exact heights that she needs.
Okay, great.
So anyway, don't worry about the brown spots right now.
Okay. I appreciate that information.
Okay.
Oh, and thank you very much for calling.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, this is the time of the year when lawns just they're dormant.
Yeah.
They don't look green. They're shut down for the winter.
They're in between haircuts. That's what I like to draw the correlation with, is because
Yeah.
like I let my hair grow a little bit longer and it looks a little bit nastier and not as nice. But I get an extra 2 weeks of not having to spend money on getting my hair cut, and those 2 weeks add up after a year. But it looks a little ugly, and but then as soon as I get the haircut, as soon as spring comes and you cut the lawn, everything comes back, and it should look healthy. Unless, as you pointed out, maybe it might be a moss patch or something like
right.
that.
And moss doesn't like cold either.
Right.
But what the important part of the lawn is the root system and the root structure, and that's still taking care of business down about 3-4 inches.
Right.
Sometimes as much as 6 inches down. And it's not really the same weather down there as it is on the top.
Right, hopefully.
So when the soil then warms up, then all those roots that have been just sitting down there collecting nutrient, then they go to town, and then once you have to start mowing it, really got to start mowing it.
Yeah.
We're going to take a little break, folks. Give us a call, 503-435-1260. This is To the Root of It with Ray and Kyle. And we're discussing water-wise gardening.
That's right, water-wise, drought-tolerant. 503-435-1260. This is KLYC.
From rock to bark to all kind of soil blends to straight compost. We offer services such as the concrete mixers. We also have a blow-in service where the truck will come out and blow the bark in or compost for you right there. And when we leave, it's like we were never there except the product's there.
Now, they're right across here, just down from the fairgrounds, right across from the Shell station, right next door to WOW. So if you're bringing your old TV sets and so on and so forth in to get rid of them, old computers and such, we're just to the west of that.
Correct. We're located over here on Orchard Avenue, 2200 Orchard Avenue. When you pull in, you'll see the signs. You'll see the big green bunker tarps, keeping your soil dry and ready for you all winter.
What are your hours and phone number?
Hours are going to be 8 to 4, Monday through Friday. On Saturday, it's 9 to 4. Phone number is 503-434-1671.
All righty. Anything else you want to tell the folks?
We got a friendly staff here ready to answer and help you guys out with any kind of needs you have as far as landscaping and garden goes. Come on down, come say hi to us, and we'll help you out from there.
So if you're listening to tips that the guys are talking about on To the Root of It, and you need some composting, maybe you just need a little bit, maybe you need a lot, come on down and check them out. Again, the address?
2200 Northeast Orchard Avenue.
And the phone number?
503-434-1671.
Nick Olheiser talking to us. We're here at Recology Northwest Greenlands, and they bring To the Root of It back on KLYC AM 1260. Now back to the show.
When you step on the scale in the morning, do you say, oh, yuck? Remember, a little bit of exercise every day is better than none. Come exercise with me at Cindy's Gym and turn your yuck into Cindy's Gym is located on the corner of 11th and Adams in McMinnville.
AM 1260 KLYC, and we are at Harvest Fresh right now. We're in the produce section. Brussels sprouts for $1.99 a pound. Heirloom navel oranges for $1.29 a pound. And apples, you know, there's nothing that tastes better than an apple on a winter day like we have. Autumn Glory apples, they're locally grown and they're organic apples, only $1.99 a pound. How about jumbo baker potatoes for 39 cents a pound? Aurora apples for 79 cents a pound, and these as well as locally grown. Ground beef, as we go over to the meat department, $2.99 a pound for quality ground beef. Whole fryers for $2.29 a pound. Red snapper for $6.99 a pound. And just come down to Harvest Fresh, and they're located here on 3rd Street in McMinnville, Monday through Friday from 8 to 8, and Saturday from 8 to 7, Sunday from 10 to 7. Watermelon, you know, normally that's something, the delicacy for the summertime months, but we've got it here now at Harvest Fresh, $2.59 each for a personal watermelon. Check it out. The specials are on, the food is good, and we'd like to have you come down to Harvest Fresh, 3rd Street in McMinnville.
Howdy, folks. I'm Eric Elliott, And I'd like you to come visit me on Sunday evenings from 6 to 8 p.m. for Back at the Bunkhouse. I'll be putting Western back in the country. I'll be playing CDs and LPs, yes, albums. So please join me for a visit back to the Old West right here at KLYC AM 1260. You'll be glad you did. Thanks.
Okay, and here we are back right here.
Yep.
You are at To the Root of It on KLYC. We are discussing water-wise plants, which are drought-tolerant plants. Some of the things that I know we were going to get into a checklist, but I had to bring up the crocus because, like I said, I was down in Louisiana, and those things are popping up.
Well, you walk around out in my neighborhood,
right,
and you see crocuses, hyacinths, the daffodils are all up as much as 3 to 6 inches. I haven't seen any tulips or iris yet, but crocuses are definitely...
Crocuses in the iris family.
Yep, they're definitely getting ready to do something special here probably next month.
Yeah, and they are drought tolerant because they sleep during the during the summer mostly, so they just need a little bit of water during the winter time, and then as soon as the soil heats up, they peak out, and then they die.
You asked me which ones I liked. Another one I really like is my little cyclamen.
Oh, yeah?
Because one corm, which is about the size of a softball, produces flowers like November, December, January. It'll flower in the snow.
Oh, nice.
So I have these really cool-looking little purple flowers that'll stick up out of the snow. And there again, in the summertime, it just kind of takes a time out.
Right.
It
is too hot.
Yeah, it's like, why bother?
So
It's hot
dry.
out. Yeah.
I'm going away now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
so the
just sit
crocus.
here.
And then, we speaking of landscape sustainability, Douglas County Master Gardeners actually have a sustainability checklist. And you can actually, down in Douglas County, not here in Yamhill County.
Yamhill County yet.
Yeah, we got to work on that. But you can actually have somebody come out and look at your garden and see if you are an Oregon sustainable landscape, which for me is really interesting because, it's a participatory garden. It's showing that you're wanting to learn these things and you've actually been able to incorporate them. And it's kind of like a pop quiz or a quiz, somebody coming by and testing you on these.
What does it mean when you say landscape sustainability? That's a lot of syllables for me.
Landscape sustainability is usually not the use of any pesticides because it's something that the outside resources don't consume what is on inside. So you don't have a negative gain or a negative sum. Because when you buy pesticides, that's money going out the door. When you add water, then that's also money going out the door, but it's also resources going out the door. And so the garden, it's costing you money to do it. So it's not necessarily a sustainable thing if you're always dumping money into it. Whereas you have a sustainable garden, it takes care of itself. There's no added need to it, maybe other than work and time and effort.
Interesting tidbit of information I picked up last Thursday at the class is that 1/3 of our available fresh water is used for nothing more than gardening.
Horrible.
And 40% of that is totally wasted. So look at your MAC water and light bill.
Right.
And figure that 1/3 of that could be not spent.
Exactly.
By doing sustainable gardening.
Yep.
You could cut your water bill, and this is, maybe not totally scientific, but you can reduce your water bill by a sizable amount in the middle of summertime by doing sustainable gardening.
Yeah, and some of these things on the list, and it was really an interesting list, is it goes into detail about your water efficient. Is it water efficiently? So do you have groups of plants that are grouped together by irrigation needs? So you don't have these irrigation lines stretched all around your area. You just put the plants that need irrigation right next to each other, and then the plants that don't, they're elsewhere.
Up in Newburgh, there's a demonstration garden on your way as you're coming south out of Newburgh.
On Hancock.
Right? Yeah, on Hancock, right there by the railroad tracks.
Right.
And in that demonstration garden, and it's a huge corner lot with parking and everything, and it is water-wise gardening demonstration.
It's incredible. I drove by it this morning knowing that
It's
we
gorgeous.
were going to be talking about this topic. There are flowers blooming there. I was driving by not super fast, but I didn't catch to see what kind they are. And then I also noticed that they have one of those green roofs, which is just to say I let the moss grow on my roof, and then whatever
moss
plants
on purpose.
Right, exactly. Whatever plants might want to grow around it also.
But they also have sedums and all kinds of multicolored
and
plants
most
up there.
importantly, they've got plaques at the plants where the plants are, so you can see what the plants are.
Take
and
a notebook.
Why they are why they are water wise. And the name, so that you can go ahead and go out and buy these yourself. But as a demonstration garden, it's a wonderful.
Oh, there's something in bloom there all 12 years.
If you've driven from
months.
Portland to McMinnville at all, you've seen it 100 times, but you just don't know it's there, even though there's a sign that says Waterwise Garden. But feel free to just pull into there and take a look at it, because it's a really great demonstration.
Like mowing lawn is another real tricky thing.
Oh.
Lawns actually function best at a particular height.
That's right.
And the lady that called in, that's why I suggested she go ahead and mow her lawn now to get it started at that height. And depending on what species of grass you have, or if you just have a blended lawn.
That's what's great about this checklist. And the checklist you can also get at extension.oregonstate.edu/Yamhill. You click on the WaterWise link that's there, and this checklist is on the next webpage. But it's really great because it tells you for the kind of grass that you have, how tall you want it to be. So, for instance, bent grass, that's at 1 inch. And then if you've got the perennial rye, it's at 2 inches. And if you've got the fescue, that's at 2 inches.
And most of our lawns are blended lawns.
Right, exactly.
With both perennial rye, fescue, and various other seed. Whatever grows in the field next to your house is what you got for a lawn.
That's why I've got rye.
Yeah. So if you keep your lawn in the 2 to 2.5 inch range, it's its optimum length. It doesn't develop excessive thatch. And it will green up just as soon as the ground is warm enough for the roots to get active.
Yeah, and so that's one of those things that I'm still picturing somebody showing up with a clipboard and this checklist and then saying, okay, is your perennial rye 2 inches? Yes, you pass.
Yep, you get points for that.
Right, exactly. And then it has you check out your irrigations system, and then you have to have a rain gauge, so that you know how much you need to be watering also, which is a good idea, having a rain gauge around.
Well, a rain gauge can be an empty tuna can.
You're absolutely correct.
Just set it on the patio table out back, and you got yourself a rain gauge.
Yep. And then and one of the things near and dear to your heart is the mulch. You want to make sure that you've got the 2 to 3 inch mulch layer.
Yep. That's my favorite thing to shop for, and I use it religiously.
And do you replenish your mulch once a year? Do you?
I honestly do.
Do you?
Yes. I only have to put on like about 1 inch now, because I started out with like 4 to 6 inches. Mm-hmm. I cover things right up to the top of the root balls, and then it'll biodegrade over the course of the year, and it'll drop down about 1 inch to 1.5 inches, and then all I have to do is just sprinkle it, and then if it's I get a hankering to make it purtier,
right,
I can throw on like 1/2 inch of bark.
There you go.
And it becomes very economical to maintain.
Yes. And then, okay, so one of the other things on this landscape sustainability checklist, recycling. So you make sure that you are composting your clippings, or you're leaving them in the ground. Composting is basically the recycling term for gardening.
Right. I started practicing that several years ago, and I would use my bag maybe once a month, and then collect those clippings and use them on the basis of other plants, and then cover them up with brown mulch, so that the grass clippings actually biodegrade, puts the nitrogen back into the soil, feeds the plant, and you don't have to go out and buy a sack, because it's right there.
Yeah.
and the natural product will produce, I forget what the percentage of nitrogen is actually in grass clippings.
As long as they're the green ones, it's a higher percentage than your leaves that people are putting in the compost. Leaves make good, filler material
right.
because all of the nitrogen is coming out, and that's why compost is working, is because you're using that nitrogen and you're breaking it down into a usable form too.
Well, the difference between compost and mulch is compost most generally is something that you're going to actually work into the soil to provide structure for the soil, to provide little air sacs and stuff.
Yep. And on that note, we are going to jump into a break, and I think that we've even got another Recology interview coming up. But yes, we do. So they can give you more information about that kind of stuff. But we'll come back and
they're good over there.
Yeah, we'll come back and we'll finish off this checklist for sustainability and some more water-wise plants. But you're listening to The Root of It right here on KLYC.
AM 1260 KLYC, welcome to the Root of It. Back to the show in just a moment. We want to take a moment to thank Recology Northwest Greenlands and site lead Nick Olheiser. Recology Northwest Greenlands is here to provide the mulch and the compost you need for your garden or even your larger operation. Nick, glad to have you with us on the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So tell us the products that you have to offer the public.
Well, our main golden gem is going to be the compost that we actually produce here on site. We offer yard debris service. It's dropped off. From there, it goes through the entire composting process, and there we're able to resell it to the public or to some of the more commercial type businesses. We also offer a wide range of rock and soil products to the community, as well as bark dust as well.
So I notice if people want to get rid of their clippings, their leaves, their lawn mowing debris, and so on and so forth, they can bring that in here. Is there a charge for that?
Correct, there is. There is a $6 per yard charge. However, if you already have garbage service and you're located in the city limits of McMinnville, Lafayette, and Sheridan, I believe, it's already incorporated in your bill. So you just come in, let us know your address, and from there we can help you out and get you going from there.
So again, we're right next to the WOW drop-off site. So if you're dropping off your computers, recyclable materials, plastic, TV sets, and so on and so forth, we're just west of the site you do that. And there has been a name change and kind of a redivision of the company. Could you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, a couple years ago we were bought out by a San Francisco-based company called Recology. From there, we've kind of done a little bit of a restructuring within the company, and we've now fallen under more of an organics division. With that, it's allowed us to kind of hone in and centralize our knowledge on the composting operations of it, and move forward from there and try to provide the best product that we can and at the cheapest cost we can.
There you go. Recology Northwest Greenlands, a sponsor. Have to the root of it again. What are your hours?
It's going to be Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, and then on Saturday, 9 to 4.
And your phone number again?
503-474-1671.
Bringing you to the root of it here on AM 1260 KLYC. Thank you to Recology Northwest Greenlands. Golden Valley Restaurant and Brewery is celebrating 20 years of serving you the best times and locally produced food in Yamhill County. Golden Valley Restaurant and Brew Pub at 980 Northeast 4th Street in McMinnville is local, locally brewed refreshment, fresh local produce. Steak specials every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Golden Valley Restaurant and Brew Pub opens daily at 11, open till 9 p.m. Sunday, and most weekdays open till 10 Friday and Saturday. And they say go McMinnville and Newburgh High School.
Is pain from hip arthritis interfering with your daily life? We can help you. I am Dr. Michael Vesley, and I'm the medical director of the Joint Replacement Institute at Willamette Valley Medical Center. I received fellowship training in joint replacement at the Mayo Clinic and performed less invasive anterior total hip replacement surgery that allows for a shorter recovery. Based on our low complication rates and high patient satisfaction scores, you will not receive more personalized care or better outcomes elsewhere. If pain from hip arthritis is limiting you, please call me to schedule a consultation at 503-435-6571.
And welcome back to the root of it, Ray.
Nice tongue work. You
right
get that off the back of your teeth.
Right.
Yeah.
We're talking about water-wise and landscape sustainability because we're fearing the worst right here for this year, and the water Not really a water availability that we have here. It's just that because for me, I can always get water out of my well. It feels like I can always
Well, so
get
far
water
you
out of
can.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, but after 20 years of something like this, maybe
if
not.
this
That's what
goes
you're
on for a
saying.
long time, yeah,
Right.
it's not going to be good.
Yeah. But to not talk about the plants so much as one of these checklists on this landscape sustainability checklist that we have here is a wildlife. And they want you to plant vines, shrubs, and trees to provide covered nesting sites for food, for birds and pollinators and other wildlife. So that's the good wildlife that you're wanting to attract when you have your... I can never pronounce the word. Persentimum. What was the flower that you have?
Penstemon.
Penstemon.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hummingbirds love it.
Right, exactly. So you want to attract the wildlife too. You want to get those pollinators and the bees out there too.
Right.
So that's something to take into account when you're doing this. And then the shrubs also, give them some perching power or something like that too.
I don't have that availability around the condo now.
Right.
But in our old house, we had a nice hedgerow along the side, and it was great. It was mostly blackberries and hazelnut brush, but it was perfect for birds.
Right. And one of the things that you can add to the landscape also to attract birds is a bird bath. I've never in my life owned a bird bath.
Really?
Really. It's I don't feel like I need to attract birds.
Well, no, you're out in the nature where they fly down from the forest, and yeah,
they're all over the place. What are you people doing attracting them to your
Well, we did a whole show on
bird feeders,
on
on how to do that, yeah,
and how to do it properly, and I got some really great discussions and have seen some new bird feeders in the neighborhood.
Oh, well, that's great.
So people actually paid attention and went shopping.
That is awesome.
I love shopping.
And then and on this checklist, one of the things they're looking for is to be able to identify 5 kinds of wildlife. So they want to make sure that, you've got this landscape out there, but is it attracting any beneficial wildlife like the insects and the birds? So they go around and they count. Well, you've got this bug here, and you've got this bird here. And you've got to have 5 species to have what they consider sustainability.
You can have little houses for reptiles,
right?
Little newts and salamanders and toads and frogs.
And that's what the shrubs are for. You kind of want to incorporate them because the amphibians they use that stuff for shelter, the ferns. The ferns that you can plant, they're wildlife. I mean, water-wise. They support the little amphibians and the lizards as shelter, and they're hanging out down there.
Yeah, they're perfectly happy with whatever falls out of the sky.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then yard pests is another thing. The pests is...
This is the bad wildlife.
This is the one where people just go nuts for, I got to give me a sack of poison. I got to give me a bottle of spray. I got to kill.
So one of the things that they're looking for sustainability is you identify 5 beneficial insects that provide natural control to the harmful pests.
Yeah.
Can you name 2 beneficial insects that get rid of the bad things?
Ladybugs.
Yes.
And praying mantis.
Those are the ones that come to my head every time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you got them living in your house.
Exactly.
You
I have
regular
to, I have to share a
ladybird.
cup of morning coffee with them. Or something.
Yeah. Box elder bugs are not on that list.
Right. No, those are the pests.
Yeah, that's a pest.
Yeah.
We have an evening kill ratio.
See, you've got to do that.
Yeah, the suckers come out of the south wall just fine.
Yep.
I have no idea how they get in, but they generally only come in like 1 or 2 at a time.
Yeah, these past 3 days they've been, it's warm. I guess it's time to go back
Yeah.
in and find a hibernating spot before the cold spell comes again. And now they're baby ones. They have the little baby box elder. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, you can't spray anything on them.
No.
You just vacuum them up. They're
You're right.
a Kleenex kill is what them are.
That's right. And and when we talk about these pests, and we say the things that don't work on the box elder, like the insecticidal soaps, those are some healthy organic ways that you can get rid of the pests in your garden. So if you're looking for sustainability, that's one thing that you can use. But what they're really stressing is an environment that takes care of itself. So you don't need to add chemicals to it because you've got the beneficial insects and the beneficial wildlife that are actually taking care of all of these nasty little pests.
Well, it's because you've developed a balance in your garden.
Balance.
The bad thing about using chemical annihilation is that you also end up annihilating the good bugs.
It's indiscriminate.
I mean, yes, you can put things like what's the one? I haven't used it for so long. I forgot.
Exactly. I haven't used any insecticides.
The one you put on your lawn.
I put Roundup on my lawn. Weed begone?
No. It's fertilizer and bug killer.
Oh no, not the sulfur.
It used to be really popular
Yeah,
because
you've got me.
Yeah. Anyway, and yes, it did. It killed the bugs, like ground fleas and things like that. But it also soaked into the soil and kills all the worms.
Right, that's right.
Kills all of the nematodes. Kills all the caterpillars. Not caterpillars, centipedes. The things that live in the soil that actually make the soil function. So, what you're doing is not only are you overstimulating your lawn, you're killing the good stuff that would be providing nutrients for your lawn.
Yep, exactly.
If you left them alone.
And one of the key points to this sustainable landscaping is really planting in the right place. So if something requires a little bit of shade, you put it in the little bit of shade area. If you want it to be in full sun, make sure it's just right there. And then you're not planting, cross planting as something that needs full sun with the shady or vice versa. It's just knowing really what the plant does and how it grows and where to put it.
That's so easy to do if you just read the little tag.
If you read the tag?
Or it has a partial sun or a full sun or a sun with a cloud over it. That means it lives in the shade. It's not technical.
Read the label, people.
Read the label. Yeah, and please read the label if you use chemicals. Oh,
yes,
my God.
Always have to. But this list, the sustainability checklist, and lists of all of the water-wise plants with descriptions, full-page, beautiful pictures, descriptions of all of these can be found at extension.oregonstate.edu/Yamhill, and you click on the WaterWise link. And it's just a really great resource. Highly recommend it. We're gonna leave now, Ray.
Oh, we got so much. Well, we'll just do it again next week then. That's
right. We've got to talk about something else next week.
Well, next week we got to talk about the garden seminar that's coming up March 8th. We got to give some more information
about the plant sale that'll be coming up.
The plant sale's coming up.
Spring is coming.
It's
we've got that big game coming up next Sunday.
Yes, that's true.
Go Broncos. So on that note, we'll go ahead and we'll sign off right now.
We thank you for joining us. We thank you for calling us. We're open here to discuss anything on gardening that you want to imagine or come up with.
If you have any questions, give us an email. I'm Kyle at totherootofit.com. He's Ray at totherootofit.com.
Yes.
So on that note, you've been listening to The Root of It right here on KLYC 1260 AM, and we will see you next week.
Yep. Happy gardening. Keep your tools sharp.
KLYC, McMinnville, Newburgh.
ABC News Now, I'm Deirdre Bryant. There's been a shooting at a mall in suburban Baltimore. Maryland State Police say at least 3 people are